why isn't this more common? Well, first of all, I feel like we are in the best place ever that this has ever been in society's history because of things like TikTok and people who are bringing you into their process. One thing that's been so exciting to me is to see people turning their lives into a TV show. So they'll say like episode 1 of me trying to find my spark, episode 1 of me trying to find my husband, episode 1 of me dating in San Francisco. It's like the people I feel most drawn to are the people who are really willing to take you along for the ride, even though they don't know how it's going to turn out. And to give you an example, we've done an episode on this woman on Listen Before Love, but there's this girl, Danielle Walter. She calls herself the Carrie Bradshaw of San Francisco. And she has been fascinating to me because she takes you on all these dates. And she went on a date recently and her debrief was like, I think I met my husband. And the reaction to this and the comments was so fascinating because it was like a 50-50 split between people saying you're being love bombed, this is a dangerous man, this isn't going to end well, get back to me in 2 months, this kind of thing. And then people being like, oh my God, yay, this is amazing, you found him, all of your hard work paid off. It's just been so interesting because I think it's badass that she is willing to be so honest and so authentic about her love life and literally go on Instagram and she knows he's watching this and say, I think I met my husband, and let the world project on her. Like thousands of people projecting their shit and their stories and their happiness and their sadness and their anger and their confusion and all of it. She just says, you know what? I'm out here doing my thing. If it turns out that this guy is the one, that would be epic. If it turns out this guy isn't the one, it would also be epic because we would then, for maybe the first time in history, have a documented case of someone being love bombed. That would be so helpful.
Imagine how helpful that would be to
it's a gift.
Thousands, potentially millions of women that are watching that.
Yes, it would be a service either way. And that's something about that was just so compelling and beautiful to me because if you're willing to let yourself be projected upon, that's really all it takes. If you share your truth and you try to detach, I know it's so hard. This is like probably the thing I struggle with the most is, like I said in the beginning, I can't predict how anyone is receiving me right now in this moment. I can't predict it. They may think that who knows what they think? People think a billion things. People project whatever's going on in their life onto you because they see something in their external reality that sparks an emotion and then creates a comment. And then we take it as if they're right. And we take it as if it's in good faith. A lot of the time it's not. It's just a projection circus and it is what it is. And that's why I'm not on social media because I am so deeply in my bones susceptible to people's urgency, people's fears, people's projection stories. When people accuse me of certain things, it really deeply hurts me. And then it makes me contract. And so I wanted to talk about a layer of this that I don't feel like anyone has discussed. And it's that for women especially, why we don't share from this place of no makeup, crying in our pajamas is because there's a deep fear of being labeled as crazy. A deep fear that I don't even think women really know they have because it's so ancestral and it's so beyond the logical mind and beyond the conscious body. It's something that's in our DNA. And so when women share what they're going through, the messy process of it, the emotions, the whirlwind, the realness, the rawness, which by the way is all my favorite creators. People call them crazy. Like the girl Danielle, people call her insane. They're like, why are you sharing this? And it's that kind of narrative of if you are a woman especially, but also men, but you're a woman who shares from the wound, you have big emotions, you're trying to figure life out, and instead of hiding it away and self-processing by really alone and then coming out with the wisdom, which is what we're used to in someone like an Oprah, she'll share a story of something that happened a year ago. She's clearly gotten past the emotional storm of it and now she's going to share it. That's still very valuable. That's what I was doing and you were doing, we'd move past it enough to where we understand what's going on, and then we can provide some kind of value in our logical understanding of what we went through. But what does that do? That really not only bypasses, but hides the emotional reality of the situation. This is why when on Listen Before Love, we give relationship advice. When we're talking about certain things that we've moved through, we have gotten through the emotional storm of it, and we're speaking from the mind. That's why when people hear relationship advice, they say, okay, that sounds great, but that's just not where I'm at. What do they mean by that? They can sense that you're not in the same emotional reality as them. They are heartbroken. They're in the depths of despair. They're how you felt when you were laying in your bedroom alone in Bali with the wound on your stomach, feeling so alone, feeling like the world's ending.
Just
feeling,
having been cheated on.
Yeah, just having been cheated on, feeling like the rug was pulled under you. And then they're listening to someone who had that happen to them 4 years ago be like, well, this is what I would think. And it's like, bro, you're not even on the same emotional plane as me. Like, you're like literally 10 levels ahead of me on this. And so it's like, why does that happen? Why isn't there more advice or situations or stories or media that share from the wound? Or there are movies, but there's a very, seems like strong unwillingness for people going through that thing to share that they're going through that thing.